these two players as well, how important this match is to them, other than the obvious of winning a tournament, is neither of them, I mean, Zalae's won big invitationals and stuff like that, but neither of them have really gone deep, really deep, like winning tournaments or, you know, a good second or something, particularly often at all. We're talking about how great they both are, and they really, really are. I can't stress that enough. But we don't really associate them with winning multiple trophies and stuff. So it's actually probably a little bit more nerve-wracking out there than we're giving it credit for these two.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's
Yeah, no offense to Zalae fans, but go through his achievements in Hearthstone, and other than being really, really good at the game, and you know he has won some very difficult invitationals, he's just got a huge set of stats that say he's really good at the game.
Yeah.
To show for it.
He certainly has, I think, the experience and the time spent in Hearthstone to have earned his reputation.
I mean, he's good. He's just that good. He nearly won last call last year.
Well,
That's
yeah,
how
but
good
like,
he is.
He's never won a playoff, for instance. He's never been to Worlds. He you know, hasn't won a DreamHack event. You know, these are titles that other players have that Zalae is still searching for. And I don't think that really makes him a worse player than any of them.
We talk in terms of top 16s in this game for a reason.
Yes.
I'm just pointing out that these guys...
Consistency is key.
We're treating them as if they're going to be nerve-proof because they're always in this situation, when actually they're probably getting to sort of the level they've not been tested at before in terms of comfort zone. I'm sure they'll both be fine. I mean, just might be a little bit more nervous than we're thinking. Keep an eye on them.
Well, then it's a good thing that they both take their time.
Yeah. Plenty of time to settle into this one, as we do see this rogue mirror, as you called it. And coin on Zalae's side is a big deal. Activates all those combo pieces, gives you that mana push when you want it. Works with the gadgets, and if you last that long and the game's still in the balance. But for now, Zalae's hand is got the Strider, which is obviously the Thug, which is obviously nice, but that's his hand.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. If he finds Edwin, this hand is going to be significantly better. But seeing Feno dagger and hit with the dagger pretty much telegraphs that he would like to re-dagger next turn, I think. Whereas in last game, you saw him dagger and hold the dagger when he had the Hench Clan Thug to play behind it. So really minor things, but Zalae can get a read on what's in hand for Feno from something as simple as whether or not he hits with the dagger the turn that he creates it. Whereas Zalae held the dagger, so Feno can probably think he's got something else he wants to do next turn. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we saw Feno, in response to Zalae holding that dagger, just dropping an SI7 agent this turn.
Yeah, I mean, he has two really different clear options here. He can prep Fan, but he has Auctioneer in hand, so you don't really want to do that. He has the Vile Spine he might need to emergency activate with that prep.
Yep.
And then he can SI7 as well and get some board presence, or he can just do this, which is the play that makes a bit more sense, I think, and save all those resources. It's so key, and just have a 3-3 on the board and challenge Zalae's board like this. It challenges a potential Thug.
Feno, of course, was able to kill off the Firefly with those 2 consecutive dagger swings, so it is possible that he would have hit in even with the Hench Clan Thug in hand, but had he had an activator for SI7 agent, he probably wouldn't have.
And Zalae's got issues here. I think he may have to backstab this, because his Thug's going to die, and he hasn't got anything else to do in terms of board presence in his hand.
Your Thug is not safe from Eviscerate, no matter what.
But at least if it gets eviscerated, your opponent hasn't done anything that turn.
Yeah, and they're down 1 Eviscerate that isn't going to your face.
And yeah, Zalae, I mean, if he draws Auctioneer, he's not going to miss the backstab terribly. He's got all these spells in hand. And so his Thug needs protecting more than that. Maybe he would like to have to protect it.
Backstab for Feno would have been ideal here.
Yeah, nothing adds up nicely here. The good news for Feno is next turn, if he wants to, he can just prep Fan, Vile Spine. But again, he wants to not have to do that. He wants to be able to use the Auctioneer with some of these cards, because he hasn't got much to go with his Auctioneer at this moment. Zalae's got loads to go with his Auctioneer, he just hasn't got the actual Auctioneer itself, which is kind of awkward.
Yeah, if the Auctioneer was in Zalae's hand, he would be very happy.
So many options.
Yeah.
Honestly, these are both rather slow starts for these guys. Feno not having a Falderai Strider on 4, not having any cheap spells, Zalae only having cheap spells and having no actual minions.
Stands, Feno's actual hand for getting the likely top decks is better than Zalae's, because at least he's going to be able to slowly make some board presence. But I mean, it would take one half-decent pick at 1 Strider, anything for Zalae to really switch around quickly.
Zalae's board presence is very tentative right now. It's just the Hench Clan Thug.
Wow. Fan
Okay.
of Knives into a 4/4, your turn.
Well, he does find the Eviscerate, so that's going to pay off a little bit.
Yeah, I think the whole turn was about, I don't like any of my options, so let's not use any of them. I can take 4 damage.
Oh, yeah.
And Zalae picks up another spell, another minion control spell. That's all very well, but they're going to start getting eaten up really quickly when Fino actually finally starts playing his minions from his hand.
I think we're at the point where Zalae's probably going to shift face just to cycle.
Yeah.
He has so much in hand to use with a Gadgetzin if he finds it that, you know, using a Shiv this early on, especially with a second one in hand, is fine.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. I mean, this is a significant portion of Zalae's deck to have not a lot going on.
Yep. Not a lot is an understatement, but it's got to change soon. And he's not going to get beaten down very soon with all these cards in hand, but
Yep. It is just a matter of time.
Fino again having issues himself. I guess he can just SI and Abyss.
Yeah, this is kind of yucky. He would love to be on 6 mana right now, but SI Abyss means that he has no more SI7 agent activations, but it also cleanly kills the Henge Clan Thug, meaning that the Fan of Knives last turn wasn't entirely wasted, and puts a body on board.
Sets up either Auctioneer or Firefly into Vilespine for next turn, either or, depending exactly how he feels. And yeah, he's going to go for this. So he's got a little bit of options for next turn. And as it stands, if nothing changes, he'll be going for the Auctioneer. Oh, Zalae.
I mean, this is just the sweetest hand if he finds gadgets in
Well, yeah, if he finds Edwin, he just goes, have one of these and hope you don't have sat. But no, he can't even do that. Yeah, he just needs that Gadget-san.
This is the hand that I feel like I play with whenever I play Miracle Rogue.
Yeah, I have
Like,
the same
wow,
hand.
look at
except
all of my cards.
I've wasted half the cards already as well when I have it.
Eh,
Bit awkward.
I always end up drawing gadgets in when I have no cards left in hand.
Zalae cycling again, having to do that order of course backstab needs, you know, everyone's done it once. Oh, I'll play my shift first and then back. No, that's not how the card works.
Don't worry, guys. That card exists now. It's called Zap. But it overloads you for 1.
Well, this has taken Fino's Vilespine out of this turn.
Oh, that's a great draw.
Yeah. I don't know whether he does it now or whether he just... he can't just plonk down a gadget and nothing happens. Yeah, maybe he does it now. He'll be spending a lot of this time wondering what on earth is going on in Zalae's hand. Yeah, Zalae's got 8 damage from hand. Picking up a Leroy would start getting dangerous as well about now. He doesn't want it. I mean, that would be an awful draw, but it'd also be something to store for later.
Fino is at 19. That's sweet.
Nobody's going to stick a big minion for any length of time in this. They both have totally different ways of sticking minions, of killing minions right now.
Yeah, but at least Fino's drawn some of his minions. Zalae, aside from a couple of Cold Bloods in deck, picked up most of the spells he's got.
Yeah. And
Pick a time, man. Pick a time.
your time. Don't pick 10 minutes from now, though.
Like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Yeah. So Zalae will want to be using this SI7 because it is the only minion in his hand and he needs board presence. But he'll be wanting to do it without wasting the other cards for no reason.
I don't want to sap anything. I don't want to eviscerate anything.
Here we go.
He's just gone into hunter mode. You know what I'm going to
Does
do?
he wanna go face?
I'm just going to kill you.
Okay.
Well, that protects his board. It protects his SI, so... But he's set up, he's got 8 points of eviscerate damage in hand. Fino's only on that 15. It's getting to the point where this is dangerous in the most weird of styles.
I do like that Zalae went aggressive with his 1-2s there, forcing Fino to dictate the trades. Obviously, we can see Fino has gadgets in prep, Fan of Knives, backstab. He can absolutely have a field day here dictating these trades.
Yeah, and this is going to make a massive... In that Fan of Knives, now with these 1-2s on the board, going to be able to clear up most of Zalae's... I'm going to use the word threat, because that's all he has. So it'd be insulting to call them anything else, but they're not really threats. Feeling a bit scared of Cold Bloods here as well. Zalae just hasn't drawn a single good minion, but can he get it done? I don't think so. This Auctioneer is just too menacing, and Zalae's going to have to start... I mean, he could sap it, I guess. How can he generate a way to just chip away at the face here?
He has.
He can sap the auctioneer.
Yeah.
Because that's the way of protecting his... I mean, you want to eviscerate it, but if he saps it, it protects his limited damage in his hand.
Look, he's looking at Leroy as an out for lethal.
Yes.
From here on out. With the Flame Elemental and Dagger to face, which I don't think is going to happen. He's probably going to trade those two over. SI7 Agent, double Eviscerate, that's 10. Leroy then would be lethal. So I think, you probably sap the gadgets in. You can afford to trade over the 2 1/1s, and then SI7 Agent kind of has to go face if you want Leroy. Well, Leroy's not going to be an out next turn anyway. Yeah, it's got to go face.
It's all going face. I think you eviscerate face now as well. Maybe you don't, actually. You don't need to panic.
If he eviscerated face this turn, Fino would be at 7. Leroy Dagger would be lethal, but Leroy eviscerate plus Dagger is still lethal.
It's still lethal anyway, so he didn't need to. Right, good spot. And he's played, I mean, we talk about tempo. Look at the tempo Zalae's gained from this hand of garbage.
How has he dealt so much damage this
Because he
game?
just started pointing things at the face. He realised on about turn 5 that I cannot win this game by natural means. It's just what Zalae's been doing all tournament. Identifying when things are going wrong and what to do about them.
Do you really want to bring a lineup where things are always going wrong, though?
If I always win, then it doesn't matter what lineup I bring.
Ooh, that's scary.
It's sort of tiring. It's like a really
You're
tiring.
constantly having to, have your brain perform at, 200% to figure out these, not even like plan C, it's like plan X.
I always bring lineups where everything's going wrong anyway, but I'm not sure it's always the fault of the lineup somehow.
No inner fire? That's okay. Don't need it. Still gonna beat Taunt Warrior. No minions? That's okay. Don't need it. Still gonna somehow win the Miracle.
Yeah, opponent has Nourish and Malfurion in the mirror. Doesn't matter, my UI is going to do the job.
So strange. But Fino has a very threatening board here, and for all we know, Leroy could be the 30th card in Zalae's deck.
Well, Stride is a card he's wanted for most of the game, but I'm not sure he'd necessarily... I mean, it's okay right now, but he's just looking for that one out to win the game. I mean, double Avis is 8. He can put Fino to 1 and probably not die next turn. He's going to do it the equivalent way. He's going to play the sap, obviously, so he doesn't die next turn ever. And now Fino's equivalent of 1 if everything goes face here. And Zalae can just win with a dagger next turn.
Here we
Well, he needs to... Well, anything in his deck is playable.
Yeah,
with the
he's
Eviscerate.
not playing Sprint, I don't think so.
Even if he was playing Sprint, he could still Sprint Eviscerate.
Yeah.
There is not a single card that keeps Fino alive here, and what a weird game of Miracle Rogue.
And I think Fino's been alert to it for 2 or 3 turns, what's happening, and has just been unable to stop it. He went really, really wide this turn to say, hey, I've got to kill you quick, I see what's happening. And Zalae has used 1 4-drop in the whole game, and the rest has been just rubbish stuff. And that 4-drop's going to not even be needed to win, because it came too late to the party.
That's one of the really big weaknesses of Miracle Rogue. They can't taunt and they can't heal.
Just checking we haven't missed some crazy 17 Cold Blood lethal, but we have not. Fino knows a score. Now it's completely guaranteed, even though it was anyway, because he's sapped the minion that now triggers the Eviscerate. So it doesn't even matter what this card is. What just happened, Cora?
Ah, Rogue stuff.
And look how important every dagger to the face was. Every single one. He is really close to dying because the Leroy in Fino's hand. Zalae picked the ideal moment to go face with dagger on a really weird looking turn. Got him over the finishing line with exact damage a few turns later. 1 apiece, and he needed that because if he loses that, he was in trouble.
It was